What is up, book people? This is a quick video where I show you my system for keeping my bookshelf organized. Now, I don't do this for every book that I bring into the house or put on my shelf, but I do try to do this for books that I do want to read before I die. My system for organizing my books is I have 3 little stickers that I put on each of my books. I've got these little red stickers for books that I haven't read. Right? Now, normally you can keep track of a book you haven't read if you just pick it up and you look at it, but sometimes it's nice just to see it on the shelf so you get like a percentage. Honestly, a lot of these penguins, I need to read. I really believe that there's 2 types of uses for books. There's books that you read cover to cover, and there's books that maybe you don't want to read the entirety of. Like, I think a good example of this is this Thomas Aquinas selected writings book. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to read this cover to cover, but if I ever come across a reference to Thomas Aquinas, and you can see I put a couple post-it notes in here, I can just go and check. Okay, next up I have a golden sticker for the books that I have read, right? So, most recently, or one of the most recent books I read was a collection of poems by Dante, and I put a little golden sticker on it, right? So this gives me a little dopamine kick, a little sense of accomplishment, and you know, it's how I keep myself motivated to read more books. And finally, I have a green sticker for books that are really impactful, that I might want to read again, that if I kicked the bucket or got ran over by a bus tomorrow, I would want people to see and know that they were an important book in my life. So for my system, I put a gold sticker and a green sticker to indicate that. Okay, so a good example of that is my copy of Aesop's Fables. I love Aesop's Fables. When I was a kid, my uncle recorded some on a cassette and played them for me, so I've just loved them since I was a kid. You can see I went completely overboard with my post-it notes. I posted like every fable, but I love them. Anyways, here's how I show that this is both a book that I finished with the gold and a book that I enjoyed with the green. Now, there's one more category, you could say, that I don't often use, but it is in my system. Okay, finally, the rarest type of category I have on my bookshelf is the green. This made a big impact on my life, but red, I haven't read it cover to cover. So this is for the best history of ancient Egypt that I've come across. I have read chapters out of this. I have used this for research. I do have tons of post-it notes, but I have never sat down cover to cover and read the whole thing. I've just picked out what I needed. And there's nothing wrong with that. With a lot of nonfiction especially, you don't need to read the whole book to get really meaningful information out of it. Okay, also some notes. So I do not use this system on some of the older books that I have in my collection because I don't want to damage them. It's not so important to me that I systematize them. Honestly, those are kind of for show books sometimes, right? And they're not even particularly rare. I find tons of used old books at like bookstores and thrift stores particularly, where you can get them cheap. No one wants them. I try to put the stickers on in a spot that makes sense. So right here on this copy of Macbeth, you see there's like already like a perfect red dot. So I'll just go like bloop, and there we go. Now I know that I haven't read this book yet. I should probably get around to that someday, right? So the reason I think that this system is really cool and I really like it is because it does 2 things. One, it gives you a visual on how much of your bookshelf you've actually read. And number 2 is it really does give you a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment when you look back and you see a bunch of greens and yellow or golds piling up. I never really have given a name to this, but I'm just going to call this the Stoplight method of organizing your books. Anyways, I'm curious how you organize your bookshelf, or if you organize your bookshelf, or if you keep books piled up on the ground next to your desk. That's cool too. Alrighty, so if you adopt the Stoplight method, tell me how it goes. Drop a like on this video and leave some comments. I'd love to start a conversation around this.